Okay, guys, so I assume you saw the movie because we're going to be talking spoilers in this particular video. So if you have not seen the movie, here is the link to my spoiler-free review. Go watch that, take your butt to the movie theater, and then come on back to this video, and then we can talk spoilers. So that is your warning. Giving you a couple seconds. Okay, I assume you're back from seeing the movie. So, alright, feel free to tell me what you thought about it. So yeah, with the opening scene, I love how it honors the first movie. The same font and the same colors and the same opening. Only difference is we see a dead pumpkin kind of slowly come to life as the opening credits were rolling. And it opens as just like John Carpenter's first movie. I was just like, wow, I mean, nostalgia. Giving nostalgia feels, like the electricity of nostalgic. Ugh! I loved it. I mean, it was extra, it was like a delicious meal for me. I mean, just like, that was a delicious part of the meal of this movie. And also, I was a little disappointed with some of the scenes that didn't make it into the movie. Like, for example, when we hear Laurie Strode sing that song from the first movie, I Wish I Had You All Alone, just the two of us. I see that they did film that scene for this movie, but it was cut. It was just like, wham, bam, boom, we see her practicing, like, being ready for Michael Myers. I'm all for that, but I feel like that scene where she's singing to herself, you know, like that same song, I feel like that would have been a good way to, you know, like a good introduction to her in this movie, but that wasn't the case. But hey, it is what it is. And also, this is the first time Michael Myers ever killed a kid, like on screen at least. I mean, this kid, you know, when Michael Myers escaped, and then the lunatics are all over the street and shit, and then the kid goes to investigate while the dad tells him to stay in the car, and he goes off, like, or whatever, and then he sees that a guard is still alive, and he tells him to run, and he runs back into the ride, and then Michael's in the back seat, and then he kills him, strangles him, just kind of like how he attacked Annie in the first movie. Like, holy fuck, he killed a kid on screen. I mean, some people may say he killed Billy in Halloween 5, but I mean, that's, you know, we didn't really see that, but maybe he did. But I mean, this is evidence that we actually seen Michael kill a kid for the very first time. Like, holy fuck. I was not mad at that. I was just like, whoa, he really did it. And I counted the body count in this movie. He killed 15 people in this movie. That really makes up for him only killing 5 people in the first one. Like, whoa. And also, with Michael's doctor, he felt like he was ripped out of like he was a villain of a Saturday morning cartoon. All like, ooh, Michael, I must study you. Don't hurt Michael. I mean, his portrayal was pretty entertaining, but I felt like he had no place in this movie, like, at all. Like, like, what the fuck is he doing in this movie? And I feel like he was sort of like how they, it's like he felt like he was based off of Mustafa Akkad, you know, like how he was so attached to Michael Myers, he did not want to have him killed off in any of the movies and stuff, as he clearly said in a lot of his interviews. Like, he loves Michael Myers as if it is his own son. He does not want anything to happen to him. Don't kill him off. That's how Dr. Certain basically is in this movie, like, where he's like, he must not be harmed, he must be taken back to the sanitarium, blah, 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 blah. And when Dr. Certain killed Hawkins, I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? And then he walks over to Michael and puts his fucking mask on. I'm like, are you serious? Please, Michael, wake up and kill this guy. And the Dr. Certain proceeds to drive Allison and Michael to the Strode house, so Michael can basically kill them all. And when Michael finally comes to it and he kills Certain, I'm like, yes. And not only that, but he stomps his head in one time, puts his foot under the guy's head and goes boom, stomped on him like he's a fucking cockroach with only one stomp. Like, wow. I mean, when you think, I think back to the Rob Zombie sequel when he stomped the guy's head in like maybe what 5 times until his head busted open. Like Michael this time, it was only one stomp and Surtin's head just went. It was so satisfying. I'm like, don't give me some corny ass team up where he's like, yeah, go get him. I mean, this is sort of like them poking fun at the Thorn Curse, or at least the producer's cut, and like where Dr. Wen controlled Michael Myers. I'm like, okay, I hope this is not what they're doing. I hope Michael kills this guy. I mean, evil cannot be controlled, damn it. So let Michael Myers be Michael Myers. Like, so when Michael finally killed him, I was satisfied. I was like, and another nitpick of mine is how, like how, Michael can quickly disappear before we can notice that he's gone. They sort of took that away from this in this movie, like where they made him a bit more human, like it seems. Like when he's in the house after he killed Vicky, and Hawkins goes to find her dead body, and then Michael proceeds to leave, but Hawkins sees him go walking down the stairs. I'm like, wait a minute. Usually I am so used to Michael disappearing before a character can notice that he's gone. Like to where it's like, where did he go? Where did he go? I mean, it just felt a little weird to me. I'm just like, meh. It didn't take me out of the movie, but it still felt weird, And that leads to Michael being pretty rusty in his disappearing acts. Like, okay. And I do love a little bit of even though this movie ignores all the sequels, I mean, like, and there's Easter eggs where it's like they're tipping their hat to those movies. Like for example, Halloween 3, like my least favorite one. Well, maybe Halloween Resurrection is my least favorite one, but for the longest time, Halloween 3 was my least favorite one. But I gave it a free pass as I got older. It was its own thing. But I liked how they had the silver shamrock masks and thrown into the movie. Like, oh, okay, no, nice. And then there's many other moments. Like, I think there's a moment where Dr. Surtin was trying to figure out what drove Michael, and then his theory, was sort of like a little bit of a callback to the Thorn trilogy. I think, at least to me, it felt like that in his dialogue. And he also reminded me of Dr. Wen, with that all being said. Like how he was sort of like a doctor at the sanitarium, and he is like a leader of a cult, and he basically made Michael Myers who he is. Surtin sort of reminded me of him. Sort of, but he reminds me more of Mustafa Akkad with his attachment to Michael Myers. And also, let's see here. Okay, I wrote this down. Okay. Okay, yeah, the showdown. I have to say, I did like the showdown, but if I compared that to the climax, if I compared the climax of this movie to the climax of Halloween H2O, I have to say I enjoy Halloween H2O's climax a little bit more, even though that was shit on from a dipshit called Halloween Resurrection. But still, the way Laurie handled Michael Myers in Halloween H2O at the very end was awesome. I feel like it was better than how she handled him into this movie. Even though I did enjoy the idea of her, Karen, and Allison teaming up together to take this motherfucker down, and the way they trapped him into the basement and with the whole thing on fire. I mean, it was satisfying. And I liked how it left where you can end it there, or you could leave it opening for another sequel, because we didn't really see Michael there when we see him standing in the basement and it's lighting up on fire, and then it cuts away. We see the Strode family getting out of there, and then we cut back to the basement. Michael isn't there, or maybe the flames are too big, but we do not see him on fire or anything like that. Like, what? Okay. And also, it reminds me of the Rob Zombie's Halloween, the ending to Rob Zombie's Halloween, where it ends where Laurie clearly shoots Michael, and then you could end it there, or you can leave it opening, like, okay, she just grazed his head. You know, it can be one way or the other. You know what I mean? I mean, this is sort of like the same thing to me in a way. And I do love how this movie dropped the whole everything that that was done before. And I, at the same time, I enjoyed those other movies. I mean, I own them. Look at that. I mean, well, go ahead, read the titles. See, except for part 4. I mean, like everything involving Michael Myers, I own right here. And at the same time, I still, let me set that down here. Okay, I still enjoyed this movie, and I loved how it just ignores all of this. So I'm like in Switzerland, like I like both, but I enjoy what they're doing here a bit more with Halloween 2018. And I kind of don't want them to make another movie, but if they do, I won't be surprised. I was so sure that Michael and Laurie were going to kill each other in this movie, but I am glad that Laurie made it out alive. And and I like that last shot of Allison, like when it shows her, and then the camera scrolls down to her hand, and she's still holding the knife that she attacked Michael Myers with. I think that's indication to me, that she is now evolving into Laurie Strode. Like we see how the rug being pulled from under her feet, like how it was pulled from under Laurie's feet in the very first movie. And when we see Karen, like Laurie's daughter, the rug is already from under her feet, and she's trying to get the rug back up under her feet, like with her family. And I have a theory of how they're still in Haddonfield. I'm guessing that Laurie did not want them to stay there, but they're like, that, what happened to you was 40 years later. It's done. Like, can we just give it a rest? He's not breaking out. Let's just move on. That's basically what I'm thinking from Karen's point of view. I think that's what it was like. And Laurie had a reason to stay so she can be ready for Michael Myers' return and finish him once and for all. And she reminded me of how Sarah Connor evolved, like in the Terminator movies. Like in the first Terminator movie, she's this nice, innocent girl, and then this machine shows up to kill her, or try to kill her, and then she is changed after that. And she is a warrior after that first movie. And same thing, it's the same thing with this movie. Like where Laurie is now, she's more like a fighter, ready, like just ready, basically, just ready to fight back and take back her life. And man, I mean, I just wish this movie was longer. I mean, it had so much writing for itself, and I feel like we could have invested more into Laurie Strode if we had more of her, and if we included a little bit more scenes that were removed from the movie. I feel like it would have been like even more fantastic. But that's just me personally. I still enjoyed the movie, and yeah, and I also heard a dumbass theory that that of how Michael Myers would survive in another movie if they make one. That Allison's boyfriend was attacking the Strode family at the very end of the movie. Like, I call bullshit. If they go that route, I'm just gonna get up and yell bullshit and possibly leave the movie theater. Possibly. But since I'm a fanboy, that probably isn't gonna happen. But I will be so disappointed if they go that route. I mean, you can still say, yeah, that was Michael Myers who they trapped in the basement, and then the reason why we haven't seen him there after they cut back to the basement before the movie ends is because he found a way out somehow, because he's the motherfucking Shape. And in this movie, the very first time a character calls him the Shape, he has never been called the Shape ever in any of the movies, any other movie. That's a nickname for the fans and the filmmakers and stuff. And I'm like, wow, they actually have a character nicknaming him the Shape. Like, when Laurie called him the Shape, I was like, ooh, they said it. So I cannot wait to see it again. So feel free to share your thoughts on the ending. Do you think they should make another one or whatever? I don't know. I feel like it was fine just right here. But if they do make another one, then I won't be surprised. I mean, this could possibly breathe life back into the slasher genre. I mean, I hope it does, because I'm sick of what we've been getting lately. So let the slasher genre come back. And I loved how, with Danny McBride involved into this movie, it's like, wow, it's like Jordan Peele paved the way to people who have worked on comedy have, like define some work into the horror genre. Like not only Jordan Peele, but also with John Krasinski. And now that, I mean, and then you have David Gordon Green who directed a comedy movie. It's like, wow. I mean, I'm just curious to see what other celebrity who has worked with comedy jump into this, to the horror genre. I think it'll be very interesting. So I think he made a household name for himself, David Gordon Green, in the horror, like in the horror movie world. So let's see what else, like the studio will want him to do. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed my spoiler video on Halloween 2018, make sure you thumb up the video, click subscribe if you're new to the channel, and click the notification bell so you can be updated on my latest videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, y'all.